Music Good evening, Tried Fam. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. If you're not yet subscribed, please join the family and keep abreast with notifications of new videos and brand new content. Now, I owe you part 4 of my Get to Know Me series, and in this video, I'm about to pay my debt. Now, picking up where we left off, we left off at the importance of support, a support system on your journey towards fulfilling your dreams. So we got to Port Elizabeth and I slept over at a family friend before the audition happened, and it took place at a school in Port Elizabeth. Now it was quite tense in that hall. I was very, very nervous, and I auditioned with the song Shape of My Heart by Backstreet Boys, and I had no idea. But my school principal, my would-be high school principal, was also in the audition room, and he also happened to be passionate about music. He also happened to be able to sing. And my future choir conductor was also in the room facilitating the audition. And his name is Andre van der Merwe. I hope he doesn't mind, me mentioning him, because I'd like to credit him for a good chunk of my musical development. By the way, I have to also mention that if you haven't watched part 1 to 3 of the video, please do so that you can, be able to catch up with this one, and so that the beginning of this video can make sense. So, continuing, now I am in the audition room and it is my turn. And I sing, the song, the Backstreet Boys song, Shape of My Heart, and my would-be choir conductor, he tests my range, and I must say he had very good instincts, because when he tested my range, he would go down and down a scale for the most part, and I guess from then he could identify which voice group he put me in, and that would be second alto. So he's very, very brilliant in really being able to identify his singers' ranges, where his singers belong, and I couldn't have agreed more with him that I definitely belong in alto too. So now, in other news of what happened in the audition room, my would-be high school principal, which I'd later find out that he is in fact the headmaster, he actually asked me where I'm from, and I said I'm from Tata, and he asked me if I know how to waltz or something, and I'm like, yeah, I know how to waltz. It's pretty simple. And then he goes, da da, da da, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was a dry joke. It was a dry joke moment, and I did appreciate it, because it was a way of helping me calm down. So after that audition, we returned to Mthatha, and we waited. After an audition, you just wait and you pray. And it wasn't too long. It probably was a couple of weeks until we got the result. And back then, I didn't yet have a cell phone, so I was waiting on the home telephone at home, to hear the result. And I remember it was one morning. I think they were playing a rerun of Miss South Africa that year, Miss South Africa 04, and the new year had already hit. It was already a few days past the new year, which was 2005. And the phone rang, picked it up, and I got the good news. And we also spread it. My dad also had found out. My mom also found out about it. And that would be the beginning of me getting out of my comfort zone. Mind you, that year was not an easy year for the family. We had hit a slump. We had to downgrade on resources, and we didn't even feel it, because the Lord is our provider. And my dad himself, he was a provider. He would hustle while my mom was studying her medical degree. So I thank God that, there was a rainbow after the storm. And then came the time to head on over to Cape Town by bus. And I remember we took a Translux. It was a single-decker Translux. And my dad accompanied me to Cape Town, and to this day, I'll forever appreciate that. During that first year, he's the one that accompanied me back to Cape Town. And it was even during the time I came back home for the June holidays. He's the one that fetched me from East London because our Greyhound, stopped in East London, and he was there. He went all the way from Tata to East London to fetch me. So literally, my people would go to the ends for us as their children, and I'll forever appreciate that about them. And so yeah, we arrived in Cape Town, we arrived in Belleville, and we just got I even want to tell you a very funny story time about the first person I met there, just to show you how it is when you come from your own bubble and you get exposed to brand new things for the very first time. So upon our arrival in Belleville, at the station, we got picked up by this lovely lady named T. I'll call her T because I don't know if she would be cool with me exposing her name with my full chest like that, so we'll call her T. Very, very nice lady. And she was the daughter of one of the main board members or sponsors and management of the choir that I'll be part of. So one must remember that we come from different parts of the country. So that means that it's people speaking different languages converging together into this one place to see a common goal through, to grow musically and to create a great choir, a great unit. So I also met this a black girl. She's all the way from the Free State. She's very pretty. So I'm just starting like a conversation, making friends and whatnot. And I'm asking her on our way to our place of residence now. I'm asking her in Xhosa, unjani ukudinwa, which means how tired are you? And then she's like, huh? What do you say? And I repeat in Xhosa, unjani ukudinwa. And it goes on and on until she eventually says, like, I don't know what you're saying. And me, deep down inside, I'm busy being offended. Like, how can this girl not hear what I'm saying? Ain't she black? Like, what's going on? To add pepper to the wound, she said, Njindindi, what is Njindindi? Me, I don't know what you're saying. So I was like, it was at that moment that I decided that I'm going to let it go. It was only later on, when I overheard her speak Sesotho to a friend who speaks the same language, or more or less the same language, which was actually Setswana. That's when I realized, no man, this person doesn't speak the same language as me. And then it added up. She's from the Free State. So me asking Janti, instead of interpreting it into English and saying, are you tired? How you? I don't know, I didn't click back then. I guess I was tired. I came from a long journey, But we live and we learn. We live and we learn. But apart from that, there would be new additions. There'd be new people coming in. And it was just getting so much more exciting. My heart was just, becoming filled with gratitude to meet these new people who share the same passion that I do. And I would feel like I'm not alone in this life. For the very first time, I would feel like really validated because I'm around people who are like-minded. I'm around people who are just as creative, and I'd be ever more grateful for this platform. So being in the choir has exposed me to many great experiences, many exciting first times. The first time I was on a plane, the first time I was in a flight was when I was doing choir stuff. We were going from Cape Town to Johannesburg. We were on our Johannesburg tour. And that happened when I was in grade 9. So yeah, that was exciting. That was really, really exciting. The takeoff and everything. My conductor was looking at me like, how's this girl gonna act? But I kept it together, Yeah, I took it within my stride. and it was very, very exciting. It would also be the first time that I would travel overseas. That very same year, we went to Wales. I went as part of the South African Youth Choir, and I also joined the Stellenberg Girls Choir, a world-class choir. And I was very, very fortunate to be part of that unit because I learned there what it's like to be disciplined, to make sacrifices, and ultimately have a winning streak, because discipline and sacrifice and hard work ethic is what it takes really to be a unit that is on the winning streak. So I know what it's like to be excellent because of those experiences. So yeah, that was my life for the next 5 years. 5 amazing years. My high school years were blessed. And after that, when that ended, of course I was emotional because again, those were the best 5 years of my life that I would have forfeited if I had opted to stay in my comfort zone. So I'm very, very happy that my family and I were in agreement. Family and friends, my neighbors were in agreement that I should go for this, because it has just made me a person that I couldn't ever imagine I would become. A person with creative ambitions that I don't know if I would have had if I didn't go for this opportunity. So after matric, I went to UCT because I didn't want to leave Cape Town yet. I wasn't ready to leave Cape Town. Beautiful place with beautiful memories. And I was about to create new memories as a varsity student and a 20-something-year-old. So at UCT, I studied film and media production because I'm also a storyteller and I wanted to diversify my skill set, but the music never left. The music really, really stayed, and I kept on writing songs. I kept getting ideas. Thank you, Jesus. And that all culminated into my 14-track album, The Grow Up. Speaking of songwriting, my journey thereof began at the age of 15. That's when I wrote my first proper song with a structure, a traditional structure, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, bridge, chorus. Until then, I would come up with 2 to 4 lines and I'd be stuck, bro. I'd be stuck. And I knew I had it in me, as I said in my earlier videos about my get to know me. I knew I had it inside me, but it truly unlocked when I turned 15. And it's funny because the song that I wrote came out of a disappointment. I was very delulu, When you're young, you have dreams, eh? So I had this particular dream and this wish that I don't want to mention. And it didn't come through. It didn't come true. And I was heartbroken about it. So I wrote a song of hope around that song. Around that circumstance. And that's when my songwriting unlocked. And then from there on, it snowballed and it snowballed. Right up until matric, I was still writing songs. So you can currently find The Grow Up on all digital streaming platforms, including Spotify and the very YouTube channel that you're on right now. My music is on there, and yes, Tried Fam, that was a plug and I am shameless about it. So please head on over if you want to hear my music. You can find it right here on my YouTube channel, or you can find it on my Spotify website, which I will put the link in the description. So that concludes the first few chapters of my life. My story is still being written, and so is yours. So whatever you do, try fam, wherever you are, don't forget to spread love. Truly Tried, signing out.
Music